How's it going, guys? Are you able to hear me okay? I have my microphone set up. I don't know if it's working though, so let me know. Can you hear me? I'm just getting everything set up here over on my little tablet screen I got here. We're gonna get ready to get into some patch notes, but I need to know if you guys can hear me. Is it loud and clear? Corey, Waylo, Badger Zeus, Salty Veteran. There's a double echo? You hear me twice? How about now? Do you hear me twice now? I just disconnected my little headset because I don't need to hear anything. Is that better? Oh, it's good? Yeah, it's the room echo. It's a big room, but it has Wi-Fi. All right, let me finish setting up some behind the scenes stream stuff. Regular echo from the room. Okay. I can try turning down the gain. Is this better or worse? Is this getting better or worse? Right here is probably good, huh? Hopefully it won't be too bad. It is a big echoey room though. Oh, it's fine? Okay. All right, let me finish a couple things right here really quick, and then I'll do my normal intro and we will get into some patch notes. Really exciting patch. I haven't even been able to download it yet because I can kind of get in over my hotspot from my phone, but it's not good. Audio's good. Just put some soft stuff in the room. Well, so here, let me show you. This is the room I'm in. It's up in the winery. So I can't really just put some soft stuff. Unfortunately, this is the only place I have Wi-Fi. But let me get a couple things finished set up here and then we'll get started. No, it's not my place. Once I get fiber, I think they said the 17th. I know it's not ideal, but a couple days out, we'll get the fiber laid and then I'll have my normal internet. But let me get this stuff set up really quick. I'll get the chat pulled up over here on my other screen and then we will be off to the races. Just give me just a couple minutes here. If you guys want to follow along, I'm going to be on playpaxday.com. I'm going to be going over the patch notes from there. There we go. Let's fire up a super chat goal. If it's going to let me. I don't think it's going to let me. It's glitching out. Yeah, it won't let me. Damn. Okay. I don't know why. That's weird. I should be able to, let's see here. I'm going to give away 5 channel memberships right now for you guys bearing in there with me. So there goes 5 gifted memberships for you guys. We do have more keys to give away, but I don't have access to them where I'm at right now. The keys are saved somewhere else. Pixel, Powell, Lord Comet, Lucas, and Nightshade Leonard. You guys just got a free month of membership here on the channel. So I always start my streams by saying this, guys. If you're looking for, I'm looking over here like you can hear me here. I need to hold the phone this side, I think. Yeah, there we go. This might be a little bit better. If you guys are looking for an awesome gaming community, come and join Cheeky Buggers United. I think my bots still work right now, so you should be able to get a link over to the Discord by typing !Discord in chat. That'll get you a link over to the Cheeky Buggers United community Discord server. And if you guys are wanting to join the Order of the Blood Brothers, we do have the website up now. I got the new website 95% complete. There's a couple things I need to tweak with it, but for the most part, it's up. You can go do your applications on there. It's segmented into 2 separate sections. Existing members, you do not need to put an application in again. All you have to do is DM me and I'll give you a special code, a link, and you take that link and you can sign up right with your Discord straight to the website and you'll be good to go. And then I can give you the corresponding roles to the games that you play. But if you're a new member and you're wanting to sign up, head over to our website, www.cheekybugger.net, and you can click there's a join button somewhere at the top. And once you click that, you can make your guild tag account. That's who actually hosts the website for us now. Really, really great site. Highly recommend it. It's been a pleasure to program on. There's a couple things I'd like to see added and changed with it, but the developers are really responsive, so they've been pretty cool. This angle makes the mustache look bigger. I have a little light sitting right down there, like a studio light, and it's reflecting off the wall. You can see how it's brighter here than over here. That's funny. The giant mustache. You know what? I'm going to give another 5 memberships. Hold on. We got to keep them flowing today. There you go. 5 more memberships going out. And then I'm going to address everyone who's in the room too, welcome you guys in. And it might be a long stream today. Hopefully my phone battery lasts. I can't charge my phone while I do this setup. Here, I'll give you a little glimpse. This is the craziness that I'm needing to do. I have a powered USB hub going to my microphone, and then the microphone comes and plugs in here because otherwise this microphone would drain my battery super fast. So I have to use a powered USB hub. It's insane, but it won't power the phone for some reason. I don't know why. But let's see who got those channel memberships. Panda P, Ginger Gonna Snap. I watched Ginger Snaps for the first time. That was actually a pretty good movie. We got Shane, C Murder, and SMK. So congrats. Everyone who just got a membership, if you join our Discord and you link your YouTube to your Discord rather, you can get some perks over there. On the new website, we're going to have a merch shop soon where I'm going to sell those little emblems that we have made. So those will be pretty cool for you guys. But come and join our Discord. We're going to be firing up a lot of lore and roleplay and stuff on the wiki on there, as well as in game. We got tons of really cool stuff. Once we get the city built, we're going to host the Festival of Realms. Go over to, what's the name of that website, Wrestling? It's PAX Day Atlas. That's what it is. PaxDayAtlas.com. Go over there. I started adding all of our stuff on there. Really cool website made by a friend of ours. So go support that website, get your characters made, get your events hosted, your markets, and all your locations and stuff. We're on there now. I have a couple more things to add. I got to add our market and stuff once we get the city finished. Blimpy says, better than having to hold up a little mic like last time. Yeah, and you should be able to hear me now, actually, because it's a powered actual microphone. But let me pull up the patch notes. Join our stuff. Come and hang out with us. If you guys are looking for a clan in PAX Day, you know how to do it. There should be links all over the place, or type !Discord, !website. Those will get you all where you need to go. But these patch notes, I haven't been able to test them myself yet, but I've been talking with people who have, and they sound pretty awesome from what I've heard. This is patch notes, verse 4, patch 4, build 42.16.4036, and these were posted today, November 13th. So there's a lot of changes, a lot of modifications, some new stuff was implemented. The grace for plots is now live. So you can now get a free plot from grace. You can only get one plot with grace. We talked about that last stream. May be hard to hear me, so I'll just recap some stuff. It costs 300. Does it cost? No, it costs 400 grace. You get 300 added to your account, and you get an additional 100 on your first login. So you get the 400 for free so we can test this out if you don't have 400. Plastic says, I like the stack size upgrades. Yes, there's a huge amount of quality of life updates. It's kind of funny. I've said this before when it comes to mainframes communication. I've said, when they have good communication, I've praised it, and I've said, hey guys, this is exactly what we need. We need this level of communication. and then they go back to their crappy communication. It's the same thing with these patches. We'll get like a really good patch. Hopefully we keep that going. Hopefully we keep these good patches flowing, because this is a really, really good patch. A lot more good than bad. There was a couple crafting things that made some stuff a little bit harder, but some stuff a little easier. A lot of tweaks and things, but grace for plots. All players can now claim and maintain one plot using the in-game currency grace. You earn grace through your daily login rewards or gold offerings. Remember, if you're a member, if you have that premium membership for, I think it's $3.99 a month just for the membership, or you can get it with any plots that you have. It comes with that. You get an additional 50% grace for your login bonus, as well as an additional 50% grace from your gold that you buy it, essentially. You basically can take gold and turn it into grace. So 50%, that's pretty damn big. I remind you that grace is region locked, they say. So you can spend 400 grace to claim one plot valid for 1 month. You can only have one grace plot. Auto renew for the grace plots is disabled. And they talked about that before as to why that was. Sorry about the shoddy camera work. And it's because you actually spend the grace while you play the game. So, you know, you're going to be doing blessings, you're going to be teleporting with it, you're going to be doing all kinds of stuff that's going to consume your grace. So that you may not have the grace available, so having auto renew ticked on, there's a little slider, having it ticked on, they say is essentially misleading, because you may not have the grace for it to auto renew. So that being said, auto renew is going to be disabled. Let me see here. However, you can spend an additional 400 grace to extend the grace plot for another month. So you can have 2 months kind of like queued up on these. So if you have 800 grace, you can sit down and get 2 months of one plot. That's a pretty good deal. That's kind of nice. Watson, hitting us with a quad brisket. Appreciate you. Thank you for that. I need to get some brisket. Oh, I've been tabbed out. I'm going to have to tab back and forth. I'll always read super chats, but I have to tab back and forth on the patch notes to this. Salty Veteran, almost missed your super chat there. Thank you so much, man. He says, check out PAX Day Atlas to create characters, add bios, create or sign up for adventures and quests. Oh yeah, the quest things over there. And our area, our town, is the quest hub for the region, which is really cool. Now, there's only one quest hub per region, and that's going to be Bloodhaven, which is awesome. Gain character reputation and find tons of events. Yeah, it's going to be really cool to interact with that site. And it was officially recognized by Mainframe, which is awesome. Havoc, how's it going, man? Welcome into the stream. Anyone who's new here who hasn't been watching the past couple streams, these are unconventional, obviously. I'm trying to do it from my phone. I now have a microphone here, which helps a little bit, but still not ideal. We're trying to get our internet. I think the 17th we're going to get that. So sorry about the shoddy, shaky camera work. I'm actually holding my phone. I don't have a mount or anything. So it's a little bit shoddy, but it's great to see you, Havoc. Who else is in stream? We got Salty Veteran, we got Waylo, Plastic Jesus, Badger Zeus, Corey. We have Loop. Great to see you, Loop. Great to see you guys. Bunch of people in chat. Thrunai's in there. Hope you guys are doing great today. Blimpy. Must resist temptation to claim any more plots. You wanting to get a bunch of plots? Cad, how's it going, man? Welcome in. Says, hey, everyone. We're just going over the patch notes. We haven't gone over anything new just yet. We've just touched on the things we already knew about, because I'm just reading through the patch notes as they're listed on the site here. Let's see. So you can also use a token to extend its duration. We talked about that. So you basically can take your grace plot and then use one of the tokens that you purchase from a premium membership, or pretty soon, #SoonTM, we're going to have tokens the plot tokens that you can purchase independently of a subscription. For people who don't like subscriptions, or people who don't want premium status, they just want the plots. You're going to be able to do that pretty soon. It's going to be kind of interesting to see how that all plays out. Ange, how's it going? If you guys haven't already, if somebody could, Ange, if you could take this stream and post it over on the official PAX Day in the stream section, I'd appreciate it. It's so hard to do from my phone and stuff like this. Havoc says about damn time. I'm gonna mute for a second. I wanna see if you guys can hear me. So I'm gonna keep talking. You'll see my mouth moving. When I mute, you can't hear me, right? Just in case someone comes in, I wanna be able to mute. So there should have been like 2 or 3 instances where my mouth was moving, but there was, it would be muted, okay. I also have a little bit of a sniffle going, so I wanna mute when I do that as well. Cause the mic's right here, I don't wanna blow your guys' ears out. Blimpy says, Ange, you wouldn't believe what Sir Winston has been up to. Is he getting into some shenanigans? Oh, thanks, you posted it for me. I appreciate you, Ange. All right, what else do we have here? So you can use a token to extend your grace plot. If you don't own a grace plot, you can also extend the duration of an existing plot using grace, but then that counts as soon as it starts to use that grace plot, that extension, that counts as your grace plot, and you can only have one, so keep that in mind. Ange says, what has Sir Winston been up to? Not my perfect boy. Templar says, oh snap, nighttime PaxCast. I would have been going about 2 or 3 hours earlier, but I was trying to find the cables and stuff to do this whole setup and see if I could use my Blue Yeti, which I'm able to now. Havoc says, not tested yet, but I've heard reports of people throwing down more than 4 plots after this patch. You could do it before this patch. If you sub and you get more plot tokens, this light is super bright on this side. So if you see me squinting, it's because that reflection is brighter on my eyes than you guys are seeing. I heard that you could do it before. But pretty soon you'll be able to just buy plot tokens. So that'll alleviate that for sure. Salty says, Templar, no time to watch for you. Build, build, build. He could listen. He can listen at least. Okay, so we've already touched on this stuff. To make it easy for everybody to try out, we're all going to get 300 grace, and you'll get another 100 when you log in. Moving forward, all new players starting PAX Day after the maintenance will receive 100 grace with their first login. So everyone's going to get free 100 grace. This is some of the best patch notes we've had so far. Here's one of my favorite things: party loot rules. This is going to open the door for way more loot rules, which, to be honest, I was having a conversation with some people about this. I love these patch notes, but they're like early access patch notes. These are things that should have already been in the game before it went to 1.0, right? Like having loot rules, plot permissions, who'd have thunk, right? Those things should have already been in the game. But I'm super happy to have them. I don't want to take away from that at all. I just think it's worth pointing out. We have Brimian says, how hard is grace to stack? I see 90 grace is 360 gold. If grace wheel resets every 90, that 90 carries over the next day. It's not that hard really. I spend like 100 or 200 gold on grace a day. You get like 60, 70, 80 grace, something like that. I can't remember the exact amount. Just wait 24 hours and do it again. Don't go too high up on that grace wheel. If you go too high on the grace wheel, you're going to be just overpaying for no reason. Unless you really need grace right now, do the slow trickle. The smaller amount that you buy over a long period of time, the better. Just stack it up. Salty says, I have 2,080. I use mine to fast travel often. Yeah, I mean, if you run one dungeon, well, now you're going to get a little less because you can only loot. We're going to talk about that too. You can only loot the loot piles in dungeons once every 16 hours now. It used to be every 30 minutes, so really, really drastically. That's something I'm not really happy about, but if it balances the economy and stuff, so be it. But party loot rules. The only one that they're having in right now is gold. So we wanted to make it easier for players to share in gold reward from PvE. We added a round robin rule. Now again, this is the default rule, this is the baseline, and you can't currently change it. It's just on. Hopefully we get the chance to customize it and have master loot and all kinds of stuff that we need further down the road, but this is going to start bringing it up to speed. So this rule will now be for gold distribution in parties. In the future, we also want to allow players to choose their preferred loot rules for parties. So you're going to be able to choose your loot rules in the future. Hopefully this extends to loot that's dropped. They could make rules for rare sigils, like named sigils, or from boss mobs and stuff. We could have master loot for those. Gold, maybe set it to round robin. It'd be nice to have the two differentiated, so you can have gold on round robin and then have, not round robin really, so they say it's round robin. We've added a round robin rule. I don't think that's even what it is. Right now it just divides the gold evenly. If me and you are in a party and we kill something, 10 gold drops, I get 5, you get 5. That's kind of how it works. So it's not really round robin. Round robin would be you get to loot and get the gold, and then the next kill, I get to loot and get the gold, and then the next kill, the third person gets to loot and get the gold. That's not how it works. Unless they mean, is there actually round robin for loot? Are they talking about the actual kills dropping items, or is this only for gold? Because they say we've added a round robin rule, which is now the rule for gold. Oh, only for gold distribution. Okay, so it's only for gold distribution, and it's not round robin. It divides it evenly. Kaylee, how's it going? Rugrat, welcome in, man. Great to see you, buddy. Brimian says, okay, cool, just didn't want to drop my plot and lose it next month as a new player. No, you should be able to get plenty of grace. If you're doing dungeons or fighting monsters or anything like that, humanoids, you should be getting plenty of grace. You should not have any problem getting grace. Okay, so new loot rule for gold. Hopefully in the future we get more loot rules. Party member and compass. So this is a pretty cool new feature. I haven't tested it myself yet, but I've heard people praising about it or raging about it. They really like it. Kaylee says, going well. Your sound is much better today. That's because I'm using a real microphone. I have this whole crazy setup down here. You have a powered USB hub going into the wall, the microphone plugged into the powered USB hub, then that goes into my phone so I can use the audio from the microphone. I can't just use the microphone direct because it'll just drain my battery. I'm at 75% battery right now. I can't charge my phone through the powered USB hub. I don't know why. It's weird. But I'll be getting internet on 17th is when they're coming to lay the line. So 17th or 18th, I should be able to get the modem all set up and stuff and have my normal setup. Get back to normal. That's the date that they have. We're on the schedule. So party members and compass. The compass now shows you the heading of your party members as long as they're in the same province or dungeon. That's kind of cool. So if you're in the same dungeon or province as a party member, you can just directly see where they are now on your compass. Up at the top, as you rotate, you'll be able to see them up on there. Now, hopefully this is toggleable because some people, they may not want that. I know you can turn the whole compass on and off if I believe if I remember correct, but hopefully you can toggle this particular feature on and off. Having good UI is really important. If your party members are far away from you, their position updates much more slowly or at the same rate as it updates on the map. Speaking of maps, there's something that was brought to my attention that's been ongoing for a little while now, and it's a huge problem. We need to make noise about this. There is an exploit where people are using a third-party map or third-party software, some type of cheat. I mean, I'm going to call it a cheat. It's really some type of injection or software or listener or something like that, where people can actually see you on the map. So if you're noticing people tracking you, we have had a lot of really bad faith groups abusing this, or we can only assume that they're abusing it because it's just unnatural, the level of tracking they're able to do on you, on like random people. I've heard from several people now that this is a really, really bad issue. Mainframe needs to fix this. If you're in PvP, people can just track you down if they're using this. They need to ban every person who's using this. If you are using this cheat or exploit to track people, you need to get banned. That is such bad faith. Full stop, get banned, ban them all, so that people don't use these things in the future. They need to take a hard stance on this. But beware, people can track you. Just reading about the map reminded me about that. Loop says, hell yeah. Get them banned. Let me go check, make sure I didn't miss any super chats. I have to constantly tab back and forth. Okay, we're good. We're all caught up. Let's continue on with these patch notes here. So resources. These notes are pretty long, guys. Resources. Many plants were tough to see due to their size and would sometimes entirely disappear into the surrounding foliage, which is pretty true. They've struggled with getting the size of these plants correct for a while. The skull caps are notorious. They were itty bitty before, and then they made them huge, like these just huge phallic shaped mushrooms coming out of the ground. People were laughing at them. They're like, look at this thing. But I think they got them balanced in pretty good now. Hopefully these changes, I think it was to like strawberries or something. Yeah, blueberries, strawberries, cotton, and many others have had their size adjusted. So you're gonna be able to see them a little bit easier now, make them easier to loot. I still would like to see some type of tracking system. Some type of system where you can simply go in and once you've found something or you're a certain level in gathering, they can make it its whole own profession where you can track things down better. I don't want X-ray vision, but something where it can kind of give you like a scent trail. I think The Witcher did something similar to that. I can't remember which game it was. V-Rising with the tracking, the way that they track bosses and stuff. Something like that would be really nice, but that's just, hey, we're theory crafting here. But you should be able to see the plants a little bit easier. Gold loot has been adjusted so non-animal NPCs that previously would sometimes drop 0 gold now always drop at least a minimum amount of gold. They don't tell us what that minimum amount of gold is though. Is it 1? Is it 10? Is it 100? Is it 2? We have no idea what the minimum is, but they're going to drop at least a minimum amount of gold, which is good. You're never going to just get completely shafted by not getting any gold there. None of them are completely broke anymore. The average gold loot from normal enemies remains the same as before. So your normal enemies, they're going to drop the same amount of gold. But remember, if you're in a party, you're splitting it all evenly. Kaylee says they need to add blueberries to the blueberry bushes. Loop says minimum must be 2 gold. Is it? Is that what you found out? You've never gotten less than 2? I know it's kind of randomized, but... Brimian says grace mechanic to track. That'd be cool on its tiny chat. It'd be cool on top of the resource collection increase. Oh yeah, I would be okay with that. Using grace to track things. That'd be pretty interesting. Plastic Jesus says blueberries still do. Harder enemies used to drop the same amount of gold as their normal counterparts. Many of you have given us feedback that they're not worth fighting because of this. Harder enemies, now the ones marked with the skulls, I call them elite, but you can call them whatever you want. They basically have the skull next to them. They are going to drop 50% more gold now. And remember, you're going to need a group to kill them anyways, and it's going to auto-distribute that gold to everybody. Again, really would like to see that same mechanic come over for the rest of the loot. Plastic Jesus says, blueberries still blend into the background or hide into the environment, kind of a pain. Oh, they're not as easy to see as you'd like. I mean, there's got to be some level of you have to have your eyes open or kind of know what you're looking for. And I don't want it to be too easy where it's just, here's a giant mushroom, like this glowing bush over here. I don't like when it's too easy, but I haven't seen them. So if they're still too hard to see, hopefully they fix that. Named enemy gold loot has also increased. So the skulls, they're going to drop 50% more. And the bosses, the placeholder bosses, they're going to have their gold loot increased, but we don't know by how much. Again, they're a little vague right there with how much they're actually increasing it by. That brings us to NPC loot. Many enemies of higher tiers used to pull gold from the wrong pocket, tier 1 or 2, when they died. They now all drop the intended amount of gold. So the higher tier enemies, they used to pull gold at a lower rate. Now they're going to pull it at their correct rate, and it's increased by 50%. So I don't know if that double dips into the gold increase. It might, or it might not. Maybe they're just reiterating here that now they're going to have their higher gold drop rate. I guess we'll see. Enemies of all different types used to drop a lot of different items, which reportedly has caused a high level of frustration in inventory managers of the world. In addition to relics, locket sigils, and etc., and gold, each NPC of a given type now only has a chance to drop a few different types of items commonly. All of these items are very useful to one or more crafting professions. So they're not going to drop just a plethora of like 15 different types of extracts and stuff anymore. I don't know exactly what they drop, but let me know what you guys think. Have you noticed that the drops are not really less, but like less quantities of different things? Kaylee says that's why the blueberries need blue. Oh, wait, so the blueberry bushes just don't have berries on them? They're just like a stick bush? That's ridiculous. I have heard, and it's not in the patch notes, but I have heard that the monsters are way harder to fight. Stuff that you used to be able to solo before is actually a lot more difficult now. I don't know how much more difficult, but I was hearing people on Discord who were able to hop into this patch. My patch is still downloading, actually. I'm only at like 1 gig out of 5 or something because the hotspot's so bad. But I heard that the enemies are a lot more tough. Kaylee says no, they're like a fern. We need to get some blueberries added onto them then. Let me check my chat over here, make sure I'm not missing any super chats. Nope, looks good. Okay. So we talked about the loot. Then we go on to animal loot. So animal droppings, pun intended, have been too similar, and the different amounts of raw materials that each animal dropped were too many, causing player frustration and inventory space. Again, you'd go and kill something or loot something or skin something, and you'd get all kinds of different stuff from them. Now they're making it a little more focused, so it will make more sense. As you kill or harvest these creatures, you will get something that makes more sense. You won't have to manage your inventory as much. All animals have new loot tables defined, so again, completely new loot tables, and a handful of recipes that rely on their materials have been adjusted. All animals that drop carcasses previously still do, with one exception. Wolf meat is off the menu. So there's no more wolf meat. How do you pronounce this? The Shamios? Shamo? I don't know how you pronounce that. Is that a goat? That's a type of goat or something? Is now considered a delicacy instead. All wolf carcasses and wolf cuts have been replaced with the carcasses and the cuts. So wolf is off the menu. They're all replaced with those new carcasses and cuts. Chamois? Is it a ShamWow? We're getting ShamWow carcasses now? Shamios. So the Shamios carcasses and cuts are replacing the wolf cuts. Wolf cuts are gone. It's kind of interesting. I wonder why they did that. It's just chamois. It's just pronounced chamois? No way. Are you serious? That's how you pronounce that? Loop says, something I would like them to change is whenever you sit down on the ground or in a chair, you can't interact with chat without standing up. Yes, that's been ongoing for a while. They need to get that fixed. They really need to get that sorted out. Plastic says, yep, we stole it from the French and then butchered it. Oh, okay. Chamois. That's the weird word, I guess. I never would have guessed that that's how that's pronounced. Depends where you live, Blimpy says. Chamois, you learned? I don't know. I'm going to call it Shamios probably because that's how it makes sense in my head now. We got the ShamWow carcasses and cuts replacing wolf. Sinew has been renamed boar sinew and only drops from boars now. That's going to make it harder to get sinew, which is going to make making bows and stuff a little bit more difficult, I think. It's kind of an interesting change. Again, you can see why I say like these are early access changes. They're making wide, sweeping adjustments to a lot of these systems that you probably would think that these would have already been changed in early access. So sinew's gone. It's called boar sinew now. It only drops from boars. Duh. Boar sinew has been added to a couple of the leatherworking recipes. Intestines have been renamed to deer intestines. They only drop from deer and stag. Hooves only drop from deer, stag, and chamois. Wool only drops from chamois. Animal fat and suet no longer drop from animals. Instead, they come from butchering. See crafting recipes. So butchering is what replaces your charcuterie. Charcuterie's gone. Let's see any chat here. Plastic says it's the same word as like a car chamois. Like a... Oh, the weird suede leather drying rag? Yeah, okay. Interesting. Wool only drops from chamois as well. Bears have a much greater chance of dropping animal relics, the collarbones, and can drop multiple ones. Okay, so the bears are really going to be useful if you're trying to get those collar stones, and they can drop multiples of them. Tier 1 boars, foxes, rabbits, badgers, wolves, and bears additionally drop bone fragments. So you're going to be able to get those from all of them now. Animal skinning. Let's see here. So let me scroll down a little bit. Animal skinning. When your skinning skill reaches plus 10, plus 10 higher than the tier at which you would start skinning, that hardness level, you get a 50% more hides. So if you get your skinning up, if you need skinning level 10 to be able to skin an animal, you get your skinning to level 20, because now you're 10 levels above it, you're going to get 50% more hides. That's a huge bonus. Plastic says, the best thing about English, we are basically the British Empire. We take your stuff and call it our own and then misrepresent what it actually is. That makes sense, actually. Let's see what else they did. Smoothed out the progressively better hide drops across all animals. Worth noting that while the tier 3 boars drop fewer hides than before, wolves drop better hides and boars drop a ton of hides now. So you're going to have to rebalance and figure out where you're going to need to get your hides from. It sounds like boars are going to be the way to get most of your hides. Blimpy says, today there's a lot of teleporting, disappearing, and appearing mobs. It's probably because of the patch. Either the servers are getting hammered. I didn't see too many people online. I think we're still down 1,000 people from the last peak that we had like a week ago or a couple weeks ago. But the servers are either getting hammered or it's from the patch. Rebalanced all skinning yields for animals. Some of the hide sizes, size adjustments changed. So here is a complete overview. So this is an overview of all of the hides. We have badgers, fox, and rabbits. They all drop small hides. Boar, chamois, tier 1 wolves, and tier 2 wolves drop animal hides. The deer, stag, and tier 3 wolves drop large animal hides. And bears drop a lot of large animal hides, and lots in caps. I don't know what that means. It means they drop like 10? Do they drop 20? I don't know. No animal was harmed in the making of these changes, but they will be harmed when we go to get the leather. So those are all of your hide changes. Crafting recipes. There's a ton of crafting recipe changes. I'll touch on a couple of them. I heard that the linseed oil is harder to make. It requires 10 tallow to make linseed oil. Lime mortar now takes 5 water as opposed to 20, so that's really good. Leather handles now require boar sinew. Leather string now requires boar sinew again, because sinew's gone, boar sinew is in. So all of the recipes are changed accordingly. Added an alternative recipe for glue with bone fragments. You need 50 bone fragments to make the glue, so no longer do you just need the hooves. Add an alternative new recipe for fine glue, which is bone fragments of 100. The recipe to make baking tools and grain mill have been simplified, no longer requiring wrought iron or granite, respectively. Those ones are going to reduce the price of those. I heard someone talking about it already, how they're like, oh no, my moneymaker's gone, because those things are going to be really cheap now, I think. Templar says, that's been amazing. Don't need a full inventory of water to fill your inventory full of water anymore. Yeah, that's going to make it just a lot easier to build. I'd like to still see them allow you to build from your containers or craft from your containers. I mean, it would just be a nice quality of life, right? Because then as long as you have a well on your property, you won't have to have any water in your inventory. You just need a well on your property, and then you have access to water. But some people don't like that because it'd be making it a little too simplified. They want to keep their crafting intact, and I understand that, but quality of life feature, something that can be considered for sure. What other changes here? So linseed oil, we've said, now takes 10 tallow. Linseed oil now unlocks at 7 and has a difficulty of 16. Horn pins and needles now unlock at 7 and have a difficulty of 16. Charcuterie renamed to butchering. So the former charcuteries are now butchers. Butchers have spent as much time in carpentry as in the butchery shop in order to craft enough chests to store the overflowing various animal parts. Oh, yes. So a lot of these meats, again, a lot of the meats have changed, but now they stack a lot more. Most butchers' recipes for parting carcasses have been simplified, producing a primary cut such as a shank, neck, or flank without the progressively increasing amount of byproducts on top. Meat chunks are still produced as the byproduct of carcass parting up to level 16. Butchering any carcass now produces bone fragments as a byproduct, which is nice because you can use those bone fragments to do other things now too. And it makes sense, right? You're getting the bones from it. Hawk, how's it going, Hawk? Welcome in. Hawk says, good morning all. How is the number of players tracking? They're around 5,000, I think. 5,000 active players across all shards. Some people say that doesn't show all the players. Again, it might. It might be showing all the players because there is a Steam API to report accurate numbers of connected players on servers. I just don't know if they're using it. If they're not, there might be more people using other platforms as well. The launcher's gone, so those numbers are gone, but there's a couple other ways you can access it, like on, I think, Epic and through Game Pass. So we don't know if those are showing there or not, but they're showing about 5,000 on Steam, which is 1,000 down from a week or two ago. But it's great to see you, Hawk. Welcome into the stream. Plastic Jesus says, I still want them to make meat chunks of other cuts of meat, or degradation of other cuts of meat, because at some point you don't need certain cuts of meats for cooking. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, that may just be one of those things with cooking, right? Because it's the same thing it's the same thing with alchemy. You're collecting all these extracts and stuff that eventually become useless. So I don't know, that might just be a problem with the crafting there. Blimpy says, I just saw 2 boars go sail up into the sky. Oh, we're back to that again. That has been an issue for a while. It went away for a little while and now it must be back again. Hopefully it's not from the patch. Plastic says, so like, we don't need 10,000 boar necks? Oh, what if I don't need 10,000 boar necks? I see what you're saying, yeah. So meat chunks still produce the byproduct carcass. Butchering deer and the chamois carcasses produce suet as a byproduct, so that's nice. You're going to be able to get animal fat and suet. Butchering boar and bear carcasses produces animal fat as a byproduct. So you're going to be able to get some fats and stuff from byproducts just simply from butchering. You're going to be getting some stuff. Crafting speed and mastery. Standard crafting components now initially take a little less time to craft. They've been constantly doing this. They've lowered it several times now. As you gain mastery in a skill and the recipe becomes trivial, crafting times decrease further down to 1/5 of when fully mastered. So as you get better at crafting, your crafting times will be reduced, which is awesome. Again, this is one of the greatest things that they've done in this. The gold in this, really, really great. Let me check my stream, make sure I'm not missing anything over here. I don't want to miss any super chats, so I keep bouncing back and forth. Nope, looks like I'm good. Okay, cool. It wouldn't let me start a super chat goal for the stream. I don't know why. Stack sizes. This is a big one. A lot of people are really excited about these. All animal shank meat now stacks up to 20. I think it was like 5 before or something, so it is way bigger now. All animal neck meat, 20. Flank meat, rump meat, round meat, shoulder meat, and meat strips. Those are all up to stack size of 20 now. You have meat chunks up to 100. That's really great news. You have antlers up to 20. You have Canaanite up to 100. I think it was 50 before, and Ambergrasp up to 100. Those used to be 50. Those are the exclusive resources that only come from Lioness. So that's the PvP exclusive resources which are used for enchanting. So those are up to 100 now. Miracles. Minor favor rewards for skinning have been updated to complement the new animal skinning at better yield better. So you're gonna be getting more from it, which is great. The minor favor also affects raw material loot from animals. So stags offer more antlers and the chamois offer more wool. Oh, that's great. So if you have that Saint Lupus minor favor, you're going to be getting a lot more stuff from animals, which is really good to hear. Item repair. This is another really good one. We want to make it less painful for players who wear equipment of various sorts to repair it. You can now repair any items at any crafting bench. This is a huge quality of life. And it also helps free-to-play players because now I think, Rasslin, isn't it where you can repair any armor at any table regardless of the tier of table? So now you can have higher level armor as a free player and go to the Petra Day and just repair your armor. And if you're wearing a leather chest piece with a plate helmet and cloth boots and gloves or something like that, you can just go to one repair station and repair them all. Let's see here. Arnold says, are you familiar with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2's combat system? If so, do you think it's viable to implement that similar system into PAX Day? I've not played Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I've heard really great things about it, but I've not played it. I really don't think they're going to be changing the combat too much because I think their ultimate goal is going to be to get PAX Day onto multiple platforms like mobile and tablet. They showed that off a long time ago, it being played on a tablet. And if they implement too many controls for combat, it's going to make it impossible. But great to see you in chat. Plastic says, I think so. Are you talking about the combat, implementing that over here? Is that what you were saying? You think so too, Plastic? Salty Veteran says, you can repair at the log workbench if you wanted to. Oh, so you could go to any tier table, any table, doesn't matter what it is. You just have to go to a table. That's great news for free players. If you're free to play, the game is getting easier and easier for you to be able to engage with it. And I love that. It makes the game more accessible. You can now be a free player, get a key from me. We give away keys over on the Discord, so join the Cheeky Buggers United Community Discord server. We also give away keys here on stream, but I don't have my keys available because I'm having to use my phone to do these streams. But you could be a free player now and repair your stuff at the Petra Days and repair all of your armor. You don't need access to the higher tier tables anymore, which is really good. This also means that in Lioness, all of those tables they have at those trade camps or whatever they're calling them, you can repair there as well, which is great news. It's going to be really, really nice for people to just be able to repair their stuff now. Blimpy says, can confirm repaired with tools at the basic table. Good, good. Repaired my steel pick at a tier 1 table. Awesome. Perfect. That really, really great quality of life feature there. Names. As mentioned above, charcuterie skills were renamed to butchery. Similarly, renamed the tools. So everything that has to do with charcuterie. Charcuterie's gone. Butchering is in. Charcuterie is so last year. Butchering is the current. The chamois, boars, and wolves of different tiers have earned unique names that fit their appearance and or biome. So we'll have to check those out. We'll have to check out their new names. That sounds pretty cool. We're nearing the end of the patch notes here, but this has just been great, great patch notes so far. Fixed. So these are some of the fixes that they've implemented now. Several improvements to the occasional server hitches, although I've heard that there's some new problems implemented with this patch as well. Hawk says, is your PC out of action? No, I've recently just moved, Hawk. So I'm at new property. I just don't have fiber laid yet to my place. So I'm up at the winery using their Wi-Fi, and I got this crazy, crazy setup. That's why I'm on my phone, and I have a Blue Yeti attached to my phone through a USB, through a powered hub. It's kind of all over the place, and I'm using this laptop thing to look at the patch notes. It's not going to stay like this. If you guys like the face cam, I can get a face cam to install it for my other streams, but I find that if you guys are wanting to see gameplay, you're wanting to see gameplay. You don't really want to see me sitting there in my pajamas, right? So let me know what you think though about the face cam, but it's not the norm and it's not going to stay unless you guys like the face cam. I can implement it, but no, my PC's fine. I just need to get the internet laid and then I can get it all set up. Pete, how's it going, Pete? Pete says, I won't be playing this game again due to their price model. Well, you can actually play for free, Pete, and that's actually what we were just talking about. If you don't want to play the game, don't play the game. I'm not here to sell anyone on anything. I don't care if anybody plays the game. I want people to play games that they can enjoy. So if you're not enjoying PAX Day, don't play PAX Day. But I will say it's getting easier and easier to be a free player. You can buy the game for $30, and you can earn grace in-game through in-game mechanics, and then you can buy a plot with grace and maintain it with grace. And now you can repair your stuff at the benches that are at the Petra Days. So you actually, the only thing that you would need to purchase would be premium, which is $4, and you can get plus 50%. I'd like to see that just go away or replaced with something else altogether. But it is getting easier and easier. Hawk says, your face is not the person I imagined. Really? In a good way or a bad way? Pete says, I already paid 100. A lot of us paid a lot more than 100 too. I'm with you on that. No, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of their subscription implementation, but I'm not opposed to subscription implementations. I mean, if you get the new WoW expansion, it's like $100 and then you got to pay $15 a month on top of it. I do like WoW's subscription model though, because then you get access to the entire game. But I hear you, Pete. It's not going to be for everyone, unfortunately. And if the game continues to struggle like it is, I mean, I think that it's not that bad of pricing. I think the main problem is the lack of content across the board. This patch, however, this is a good patch. This is like one of the first good patches. This is one of the first patches in many, many months that I've actually heard people excited about. You like Guild Wars 2 pricing? See, I'm not a huge fan of microtransactions. I don't really like microtransactions, even for cosmetics and stuff. And I know Guild Wars has a lot of those. Everyone has their own preferred thing that they like. I mean, it is what it is, right? They're probably not going to change their pricing model now. So I definitely don't blame you for that at all. But I appreciate you being here to check in on this stuff, though. It's great to see you, man. Havoc says replace XP with bag space, and I'm satisfied. That'd be pretty nice, actually. I wouldn't be opposed to that. So what else did they fix? They fixed an issue where players could end up in fly mode after maneuvering and mining at the same time, so that's kind of weird. When you use Alt plus left mouse button to move, all stacks from one inventory to another, but the destination inventory doesn't have room for all of them. The action now prioritizes items from the bottom of the previous inventory instead of taking from the top. Hoarders rejoice. So it's just a nice quality of life thing for people who prefer that method. What else did they do here? Dungeon loot piles of all sorts now have a personal lockout timer of 16 hours. This is one of the bad things about the patch, in my opinion. It may not be bad. They may just be well, here's why it's bad. I'll give you an example. After I grab a drink of water, 1 second. Okay, here's why I think it's bad. You go into a dungeon, you have to clear the entire dungeon and kill all of the named mobs in order for them to have a chance, or you have to kill all the placeholders for the named mobs in order for there to be a chance for that named mob to spawn in its place. It's not guaranteed, but let's say right here, one of the mobs can spawn. I have to kill the mob that's standing there. It may just be a skin dancer. You kill it, you come back after it's respawned, it may be the named mob, which you're trying to get for the locket, right? You have to clear the entire dungeon in order to reset all of their spawn timers. You used to be able to go loot pile to loot pile while you did it and get a bunch of gold. Now you're going to be locked out if you loot this loot pile and that loot pile. You got to wait 16 hours on each of them from the time that you looted it. To me, this is making the dungeons a very discombobulated place because now you're going in, you have to clear the whole place, maybe even multiple times in order to get the bosses to spawn, but yet you can't loot the loot piles even though you're clearing the whole place multiple times. I don't really know why they did that. They're just going to be reducing the amount of gold you can get from a dungeon drastically. We used to leave with a lot of gold, and now you're not going to be able to leave with any gold. Now this creates a discrepancy from new players and old players. Old players are going to have a bunch of gold now because you could go into a dungeon, sit in there and clear the place 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 times, have tons and tons of gold. New players are not going to have that advantage. They're going to be severely behind on gold now. And the game being 1.0, nothing's getting wiped. They either need to, I don't know what they're going to do about it. They're probably not going to do anything about it if we're being honest, but one loot pile, 16 hours. I think what you're going to see now is, I know they have the guards guarding those loot piles, but what I think you're going to see is you're going to have people with a bunch of alts stuck in the corners behind the loot piles, loot the loot pile, log out, log on another alt, do the same thing. Eventually they can hearth out, and it's not really a risk because when you die, you don't drop any gold. And then they're just going to farm the gold that way on multiple characters because it's a personal loot lockout. It used to be 30 minutes. Now it's 16 hours. Let's see here. As originally, they say as originally intended, but I've never seen them like that before. The idea here is that they can be searched up to once per day per player, and to provide some flexibility, we set the timer to 16 hours instead of 24. So they're really only wanting you to loot these loot piles once per day. Plastic says, I'm guessing they tried to revamp that by increasing the gold drop rate from NPCs. Maybe. We'll have to see if that balances out, but to be honest, we got so much gold from those loot piles, and it's going to be very weird to not get them anymore. That used to be the main attraction. If they're going to be making them one loot per day, they should also increase what you're getting from those loot piles. They need to really make those drop some good stuff, because right now it's so random. It's like you could loot this one pile, get 100 gold, and like a sewing needle. It's like, wait, what? Did I really just get a needle? And I can't loot that again for an entire day? It's very strange. Let me make sure I didn't miss any super chats or anything over here. I have to constantly pop back and forth. Nope, I look good. I don't want to miss any of your guys' super chats or gifted memberships or anything like that. What other fixes do we have? So dungeon loot piles, we touched on that. Fixed an issue where a party member's icon lingered on the map after the party member was offline, so that's nice to see. Clarified death in the Home Valley tutorial, so they made the tutorial a little more straightforward, I guess, or explained it a little bit better. Show a more understandable error message to players when payment failed with a Steam error code. So if you're trying to buy subscription or make a payment, they made that error a little more identifiable so you can tell what's going on there, what the problem is. And the final bit here is fix the genetic makeup of bears, black and black bears are tier 3. They fixed the genetic makeup of bears. Oh, black bears are now tier 3. I didn't see the period in there. I did a run-on sentence. And brown bears are now tier 4 and are slightly larger. So they basically made the bears more easily identifiable. And gray bears are tier 5, the largest of the 3. Yes, you read that right, tier 5. Gray bears are tier 5. That's crazy. Loop says also, I'd love to be able to build in first person. Yes, I've heard that a lot. I would love to see that as well. There's still a long, I'm not gonna sit here and BS you guys. I'm not here to blow rainbows up anyone's butt like I always say, but there's a long list of things that we still need. I think at the tippy top of that list, the absolute most important thing besides fixing that exploit, because that exploit and any bugs, they need to ban those people and fix those exploits. But besides that, barring any like bug fixes and stuff, they need to give us proper loot permissions for your plots. They need to make it to where I can say, hey, Hawk, you can open these chests, Hawk in particular. Hawk can use this crafting table and that crafting table. Hawk can build but not break. Hawk can break but not build. I don't even care if it makes sense. Give us every single finite permission. Let me go into my crafters, my forges and stuff, and say Hawk can access this forge but not that forge. Hawk can have full reign over my plot. Or let me make a new rank inside of my clan. And I can call it New Bloods. This would make onboarding new members a lot easier because you wouldn't have as much risk there. Right now, if you have anything set to clan, any new member, you're all or nothing, besides elders and aldermen. But if I could make a new rank, New Blood, make that the initiate rank, they can have minimal interaction with things on people's plots. We really need a plot permission system. There's a laundry list of things that we need in the game. I think it's still crazy that it's considered 1.0. I really do. I love these patch notes though. This is the first good patch we've had in a while. That gold distribution really gives me hope for the distribution of items. How have you guys been liking these patch notes though? Havx says, feel like they're still in beta. I bet they finish doing all these updates by the end of the year. I hope so. I hope we get this in, all of those things that they want to do. I hope we get them in really, really soon. I wish they would put some focus on NPC animations and AI. The AI, I have said that before, the AI of the enemies is the main detractor from the combat feeling really well. The combat is much improved from what it used to be, but it's still a far cry from a good system, honestly. It's just very basic. Not all that, it's not all that exciting, to be honest, but I'm hoping that they can fix that AI as well. There's a lot of things on that list that they really need to get done ASAP, but I think at the very, very top, we're talking permissions. We need permissions. I was talking with some people as well. It seems like we're spending more time struggling to manage the game rather than enjoying playing it. That should not be the case. We really need to get that stuff ironed out as soon as possible. We really, really do. It's inexcusable to not have proper permissions. It's one of the biggest problems. I forgot to wish Black Pickle a happy birthday. I think yesterday was Black Pickle's birthday. So happy birthday, Black Pickle. Sorry it's a day late. I've been going crazy without internet. But happy birthday to you, and happy birthday to anyone else whose birthday it is. Kaylee says, amen, preach it, brother. We need plot permissions. They are very lacking. Yes, 100%. 100% we need to get those plot permissions in. But how have you guys, it was Pickle's birthday yesterday, I believe. Let me see here. Yeah, yesterday. Yesterday was Black Pickle's birthday. So happy birthday. Belloc says, I disagree with the patch being amazing. I don't think they really addressed the biggest issues that caused the players grief, such as your message got cut off there, Belloc. Oh, sorry, had to hit enter too soon. The easy crafting bug. There's still definitely a lot of stuff that I'd like to see implemented. There's still a lot of things that we need. The reason I say that these patch notes are amazing is because they're on the right track with getting in permissions. We now have gold loot rules. We have loot rules being implemented in. That, in and of itself, is a huge win. That right there could have been the patch, and I'd been really happy with it. The gold distribution, it's really going to help out clans a lot. It's going to make it a little more fair for everybody, make it easier to manage, because you don't have to take everything from people, put it in a chest, divide it up evenly from everyone in your party or everyone in the raid. You don't have to do that anymore. Loop says, happy birthday, Mr. Pickle. Plastic says, the most frustrating thing about a lot of the missing features is that they aren't like, hey, we promised something novel. These are industry standard features. Yes, exactly. We need to just get these features in. They're very basic things that every single game should have. There's no excuse to not have these things, and that's why I say it's kind of crazy that it's considered 1.0 right now. But that being said, I still think this patch is great. I think this is an amazing patch. They did some really, really good quality of life things. The patch notes may have been early access quality, like these things should have been done already, but at least we got some good stuff. We need to try and look at the positive, otherwise you're just gonna be depressed and sad all the time. There's a lot of really good stuff in here. Do we need more? Absolutely, and I don't want to take away from that, but I think these patch notes are really, really good, in my opinion. I think the gold alone is really gonna help a lot of people. There's a lot of really good stuff in there. Salty Veteran says, yeah, I think it's a pretty great patch. It's a step in the right direction from what they've been doing. Lots of great quality of life updates, and they need to continue that. I know I've said before at the beginning of the stream, it's like they'll do something really good, and then like next week, it'll just be crap or a shit show, you know? We'll get really good patch notes, and then we'll have nothing for forever. So hopefully they can just keep it up. I think that's really gonna be the lifeblood of this game, is how fast can they put patches into the game and get us the things that we need and want. We don't have mounts, we don't have gardening, we don't have a lot of the fishing, we don't have boats. There's a lot of things that they had talked about, carriages and stuff, that they had hinted at, not like really promised, but there's a lot of things that we're still missing. Hawk says, I have a bridge for sale. You have a bridge for sale? What does that mean? Havoc says, this means next patch will be nerfs. I hope not. I really, really hope not. I want to take a moment to talk to you guys about the Fellowship of the Free Cities and our in-game, in-character alliances. Because as we work on our wiki, we're going to be fleshing out all of these systems again over on our wiki. That is, I think I need to change the link. It's not !wiki won't take you there anymore. It's not wiki.cheekybugger.net. Now it goes on the end. I think it's like www.cheekybugger.net/wiki or something like that. The link changed a little bit, but I'll get that all updated. If you guys are looking for a great, good faith community, the Fellowship of the Free Cities is an out-of-character collective role-play initiative. That's essentially what I call it. What it basically means is you can come and join us with your own clan, and eventually we're going to have the feudalistic alliances. Hopefully before too long, we'll have those systems implemented. But that feudalistic alliance system is going to be for in-character alliances. The Fellowship is not necessarily for in-character alliances. It's an out-of-character collective. We have a charter. We have chartered free cities. Those chartered free cities are promoted from within. It's basically you come to us with your group. You remain completely independent. You join the Discord and stuff, obviously, for communication purposes. You get representation on the free council. And what all of that means is you now have a place where you know these groups have this play style for role play and they act in good faith. That's really what it's all about. Ange says, wait, it's Pickle's birthday? Yesterday was Pickle's birthday. I was so caught up with everything. Sorry, Pickle. I'm a day late. Happy belated birthday. But yeah, so that's the Fellowship of the Free Cities. We have the Bastion Concord. Now the Bastion Concord is our in-character alliance. So if you guys are wanting to join an alliance in character, in game, you want to stand with the free and innocent people of Gallia and protect people and go out on hunting parties and stuff, and or PvE things as well. The Bastion Concord is mostly PvP specific. We do other alliances as well, but we do not do handshake alliances. We're not just, hey, nice to meet you. Sure, you want to be allies? No, it's based on action. But we do have the Bastion Concord as well. It's going to be leading the charge into Lioness. We're going to have a stronghold out there and all kinds of really cool stuff. Loop says, hi, Ange. But yeah, so come and join all the things. Join our Discord, !Discord in chat. We'll get you a link over to the Cheeky Buggers United Community Discord server. We do have our new website up. If you are an existing verified CBU member on our Discord or in our community, you guys can get instant access on the website by direct messaging me. Send me a direct message. I'll send you a link. That link will allow you to sign up to create your account on the new website, and it'll be seamless for you. We're doing events on there. The wiki is on there. We have a forum on there. We have a news page that pushes stuff to Discord. Really great setup. I hope you guys enjoy that new website. Took me quite a while to get it implemented, but it only costs like $9 a month, but it runs on Fame, and Fame can be donated by community members. So as you guys earn Fame by doing different things, you can send it to the website and help offset that cost, but you don't have to. As always, CBU is completely free for everybody. Once I get my internet, we're going to have the Minecraft server back up and the file share servers and stuff like that. We're going to have everything back available for you guys, all of the services and bots and stuff that we host on there. Just need to get that internet installed. I think the 17th, that's when it's happening. But what do you guys think of these patch notes? Let me know down in the comment section down below. I want to hear from you how you've been getting on with this patch. Have you guys been enjoying it? Do you like the new loot rules? Do you want to see more? What is your number one thing? Leave a comment down below. For everybody who's watching this in the future, this stream will become a video. Let me know in the comments, what is your most anticipated feature or your biggest gripe, the thing that you want to see changed, added, or fixed in PAX Day? What is your number one thing? If you could only have one thing, what would it be? What would be your most anticipated feature? Let me know it in the comment section, guys. Hawk says, have you moved to Canada? No, I'm not in Canada. Salty Veteran says, plot permissions? Leave it in a comment. YouTube really rewards comments, and we're still going to be giving away a master package. Yeah, I think I have a master package. Either that or I have a founder's package that we're going to be giving away. It's an exclusive one. You can no longer get those packages. They are highly sought after, so leave a comment down below once this becomes a video. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate you guys. I know we really don't have a choice, but I appreciate you putting up with these streams from my phone while we have to do them this way. But it works, right? And it didn't take too much of my battery. I'm at like 60% still, so I only started at like 75% or 78% or something, so it didn't take too much battery. So, and this was over an hour long stream. It's a pretty long stream to do from my phone, but I'm happy I got the microphone working. Hopefully soon on the 17th, we'll get the regular internet. We'll go back to our normally scheduled gameplay streams, building Bloodhaven, doing fun RP events and all of that stuff. But if you guys want to join, come on over. The new website is accepting applications. And for any new members, we're doing a vetting. I did an event on the website. We're doing a group vetting tomorrow, I think from 3 p.m. Central Standard Time to like 5 or no, it's 4 to 6. 4 to 6, we're doing a group vetting. So now's the time. Get your applications in. We're gonna do a big group vetting. We're gonna get to know each other and have a chat over on Discord. But you can go to our website, www.cheekybugger.net, and you can go to the events tab and you'll be able to see the event on there. I don't think you can sign up unless you're a member, but you don't need to sign up to it. If you have a pending application and it has been replied to, you can come to that group vetting event. Pete says, next time show the brisket. I wish I had brisket right now. You know what? I think I'm gonna go get some brisket. The nice thing is there's a Buc-ee's really close to me and they actually have really good brisket. I never would have thought that Buc-ee's would have good brisket, guys, but it's so good. Buc-ee's is amazing. It's like one of my favorite stores. It's a gas station, but it's so good. I love Buc-ee's. Loop says, I'm optimistic, but the game has endless opportunities. More build parts. Oh yeah, they did say last announcement, more build parts are coming. Make sure you watch my previous streams to hear about that. She goes on to say, it would be great to be able to write signs on chests. As you said, the list is long. Yeah, I've heard that a lot too, being able to actually write on your chest. They say that the reason you can't do that is because they can't properly administrate what is written. I don't know why they can't though. When you type in chat, it filters your chat. You can't swear at all. I'd like to see that go away because mostly adults play this game. I'd like to see you be able to swear and then go into chat and toggle profanity filter. That would be nice. Because right now, you can write out a long message and you just happen to say a bad word in there and it will delete your whole text. It's gone. You have to retype whatever you were just typing. But they already have that filter for bad words, so why can't they just apply that to signs that we write on? People can make signs, like big signs with build pieces that are inappropriate. I've seen giant phallic-shaped towers and stuff that people have made and signs like that, and they don't do anything about those things. So I think that's just a cop-out. I think they can absolutely let us write on signs, but they're just not for some reason. But the list is very long, Loop. Hawk says, again, I have a bridge for sale. What do you mean you have a bridge for sale? What are you getting at, Hawk? Am I missing a reference or something? Havoc says, plots filter chat too, but it will filter things like Cathedral, which is weird. Plots filter words. What do you mean plots? Oh, the names of the plots. I understand what you're saying. The names of the plots. Yeah. Loop says, oh my God, you could create buildings with words you're not supposed to use. Yeah. You literally can use the build pieces to make inappropriate things, right? Plastic Jesus says it's a reference to an old con artist that literally sold the Golden Gate Bridge. Oh, so you're trying to say they're conning people? Hey, I mean, the game's not going to be for everyone. I'm here for the long haul because I made a commitment to my community, to this community here. I've been having an okay time in the game. Again, we're missing a lot of things that we need to get in. I'm not here to blow smoke or anything like that. We definitely need to get a lot of features in the game, but these patch notes, these are good patch notes. I'm not going to take away from that. Mainframe, keep these up. Let's get these going a little faster. It was weird. You know what the weird thing was? I don't think they used Arcadia, the Arcadia test server for these patch notes. They just pushed them. So why do they have a test server? I'm really confused. Maybe that's for bigger features. I might be mistaken. Maybe these did go on there. I have no idea. But hopefully they can keep up these awesome features coming into the game. We need a lot more. Mainframe, please keep at it. They did use the test server for these patch notes in particular. All of these things that are on here was on the test server. Plastic, is that what you're saying? Because if that's the case, that's good. They announced several of these features pushing to Arcadia last week. Oh, so just some of them, not everything. So it's not like the patch notes go to Arcadia and then those same patch notes graduate from there. They put some of the features onto Arcadia in order to test them, is what it sounds like. Which I'm okay with that. The bigger things, test them on there. The other stuff, just give it to us, right? But that may be why we're having some bugs if that's the case. Those floating bores and the other glitchy issues. If that's caused by this patch, it's probably because they didn't test it on Arcadia. But hopefully they can keep it up. That's the goal, right? We want to see some more good patches like this added into the game. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. I need to go get some food. I got a lot of stuff to take care of. I got a lot of organizing and things still to do now that we're getting all settled in, now that we're finished moving. Plastic says, well, they probably fixed something that broke something else because of weird interdependencies. Maybe. Yeah, that's always a possibility, right? But let me know it in the comments. What's your most anticipated thing? What's your biggest gripe? You can let me know both. Hell, just go leave a comment. I'd greatly appreciate it. But I appreciate all the support. Thank you for the super chat. Salty, really, really appreciate you, brother. If you guys want to support my work, you can click that join button down below, become a channel member. I gave away 10 channel memberships I gave away this stream. If you guys would like to become a channel member and support my work, click that join button. We have 3 different tiers, I believe. You get put in the credits. You get discounts on merch, which will be coming to the shop here, hopefully #SoonTM, and it really, really does help out a lot. This is my full-time job. This is what I do. I manage the community, and I stream for you guys, make content for you guys, put on events, and make sure that the entire community of Cheeky Buggers United is running smoothly. So I really do appreciate the support. You guys are the reason why we're able to have private servers, the website, and all the infrastructure that we love and enjoy. So thank you guys for that. Loop says, great seeing you again, and she hit me with a brisket. I need to get some brisket, man. I'm craving some good brisket. I'm going to go to Buc-ee's. And get brisket. Who wants to come with? Anyone live in the area? Let's go get brisket together. Looking forward to it. Ange says, thank you, Void. No, thank you. Thanks for reposting the stream, too. Appreciate that. Loop says, give Void a thumbs up. Hey, every little bit helps. If you're not yet subscribed, I normally have a subscriber goal that's up in the top corner, but it's not shown here on my phone. We have a subscriber goal of, I think, 2,000, and we're pushing close to 1,500. So if you're not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. All of that stuff helps the channel out a lot, but I really appreciate it, guys. I'm gonna go get some food. I'm gonna be hanging out with you guys on Discord a little bit later, but until I see you guys in the next one, bye for now.